In the world of assassins, there's always another story waiting in the shadows. We know the legend of John Wick, the man who fought the High Table, who turned the entire underworld upside down. But there's another name rising in the dark corners of this world. Her name is Eve Macarro, and they call her the Ballerina. Eve was raised among the Ruska Roma, a secret society that trains orphans to become dancers and killers. From the time she was a little girl, every pirouette, every graceful step on stage was also training for war. She grew up under the stern eye of the director, a woman who turned ballet into a weapon. But Eve wasn't just another assassin. She carried a scar in her soul, a memory of blood and screams. Her family had been murdered years ago, and though she didn't know exactly who pulled the trigger, she'd never forgotten his face. Revenge became her only dance. One day the director handed her a mission, a contract in Prague. She was tasked with protecting a girl named Ella Pine, the daughter of a powerful man connected to the criminal world. But the same people who wanted Ella dead were tied to Eve's past. Meanwhile, the legend of John Wick loomed in the distance. At this point in time, John was a hunted man himself, fighting for survival after breaking the High Table's rules. The shadows whispered that their paths would eventually collide. When Eve arrived in Prague, she checked into the Continental, a hotel that offers safety to assassins but forbids violence on its grounds. Outside its walls, the city was a battlefield waiting to ignite. Eve tracked down Ella, only for an ambush to strike. In narrow alleys lit by neon lights, assassins came at her from all sides. Guns roared, blades flashed, and Eve fought back with a dancer's grace, kicks, spins, and deadly precision. As she escaped with Ella, Eve discovered something chilling. The man behind this chaos, the cult leader she was sent to stop, was the same man who murdered her family all those years ago. The mission was no longer about money, it was personal. Their final confrontation happened on an abandoned theater stage. Velvet curtains, shattered chandeliers, and a single spotlight. Eve and the cult leader fought like predators locked in a deadly waltz. Blades clashed, blood stained the stage. And when it was over, Eve stood victorious. As she stumbled into the street, covered in blood, a figure emerged from the darkness. John Wick himself. He looked at her, silent for a moment, and then he simply said, "This life comes for everyone. Remember that." And with that, he vanished into the night. Eve knew her fight was far from over. She returned to the Ruska Roma, still dancing, still killing, knowing the High Table would come for her eventually. Because in this world, there's no true escape. Not for John Wick, not for Eve, and certainly not for the Ballerina.